This conference will now be recorded.
Whoa.
I'll
Now it's
second it.
go time. Is it time to start now?
It's time to start, Joe.
Oh, you're in your office tonight?
Yes, we're back to Monday nights,
Thank
Monday
God.
night hours. Yep.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Second.
Great.
Oh, we didn't offer general discussion. Anybody want to make general discussion? I don't think so. So now it's you, Maureen, director's report.
Well, all right. I sent you guys the most recent budget report also. I sent that out today with a reminder. All's good so far.
Good.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so I sent you guys a picture. They came out and fixed the basketball court down at River Road already. They painted the pickleball lines and they fixed the crack. And it's beautiful. It looks great.
Yeah, it looks real good.
Yeah. So that is done. Joe, thank you for the 4 boxes for irrigation.
Yeah, you're welcome.
DPW, they'll install as soon as they have time.
Socks.
Hey, Mike Panatti, can you mute yourself?
That's
You
me.
know how? Oh, that's you, Joe?
Yeah, that's actually the dog. It's not me.
All right, so we've got 4 boxes. Thank you, Joe, for donating those. We're just waiting on DPW to install them.
Nice.
Okay, lights for the basketball court and the lighting project. So the Board of Finance met on September 17th and they appropriated the funding for us. It then moved off to the Board of Selectmen. The Board of Selectmen met and they have called a town meeting. So that town meeting is this Thursday at 7 o'clock at River Road. So if any of you could be there, that would be great. We will vote on that project on Thursday night. If that project, if we get a yes, we can start immediately, and hoping Joe will be able to start ordering all the things he needs.
Who's installed?
The town guys are installing it.
Oh, good.
They are. So DPW is renting an excavator for the entire month of October, and he's setting aside the third week of October for the lights. So I'm hoping that Joe doesn't have any issues getting it the stuff that we need so that we can get it going.
Yeah, I'll get the templates for the bases and get those over to the guys at Acorn or Cromwell and have them make bases.
Okay.
Are they concrete?
Yeah, we do that in the parking lot. Same thing, pre-made bases. They'll deliver them. Then I think the Department of Public Works guys offloaded them, or did they have a little crane to offload them, Maureen? I don't remember.
I think they took them off the truck and dropped them in the grass. And then it was either DPW or Greg Peck brought in a machine and moved them where they needed to go.
They must have a knuckle on that truck that delivers them.
Yeah, I think they do. So that's perfect.
Yeah. That'll be great. We'll see how quickly we can get this done, but it'll be really nice to have lights down there.
If we can get the pipe and the bases in before it snows, that's awesome.
Right.
I don't know how long it's going to take to get the light poles,
Okay.
but I'll find out.
All right, good. Yeah, and even if we have the digging done this fall, we don't have to do that in the springtime. That would be good.
Yeah, that's what we'll shoot for.
Moving on to the town office building, we still have a tree down on the fence. DPW knows about it. It's on their to-do list to clean up that tree so we can see what sort of mending the fence needs. Programs, projects in the park. We had another painting night in mid-September. It went really well, except that it was a pretty cold night. So we have another one scheduled for October 22nd. I met with Jim Harvey with the fire department on Old Farms, and they have agreed to let us use their event hall in the firehouse for our next one. So our next one is scheduled for October 22nd, and we will be indoors for that.
Nice.
Yeah, we probably won't do another one in November and December because of the holidays, but at least we can get in one more in October before the holidays kick in. Youth basketball. I had a meeting last week with the surrounding towns and the league that we play basketball with. We're all in the same boat. Nobody can use their school's gyms. The only exception being Mansfield. They have their community center, so they have their gym. However, we've decided that we are not going to hold any sort of a league this winter. We're not going to go to Star Hill. We didn't want to start mixing kids from surrounding towns together
Exactly.
to play. So if we can hold some sort of a clinic in this, during the fall, outdoors down at River Road, that's our only option at this point. Some of the other towns thought that they might try to do the same. We talked about possibly doing some sort of a short season in the spring, depending on what COVID is like at that point. We don't know if we'll be able to get in the gyms in the springtime either, but that's one thing that we're kicking around right now. So a short spring season. If we can't do indoors, then we'll have the lights down at the basketball court, and we'll be able to start holding more clinics and maybe some small 3v3 tournaments down at River Road. But we thought, yeah. So we thought that would be the best. As much as we want to get the kids playing basketball, we just didn't want to take the chance and start mingling kids together from surrounding towns. So.
Yeah, contact tracing would be a nightmare on that one.
It would. Yeah. So anyway, so we're holding off on youth basketball, but again, we'll try doing something this fall. I've already reached out to our basketball coaches, asking them if anybody was interested in running a clinic of some sort down at River Road. So I'm waiting to hear back from them. Yoga, we are still holding yoga at Fenton Ruby. We have 2 more classes outdoors at Fenton Ruby. After that, we are going to move indoors into the library. So I went to the library last week and spoke with them about using the community room. And they gave me the green light to go ahead and start holding classes there. So it's a little different holding indoor classes as opposed to having things outdoors. But we don't have a lot of space in the community room, but we can fit 5 to 8 participants in the room plus the instructor, and still have enough space in between everybody. What I will do also is I'll stream it. We can do a Zoom. We can stream it through Zoom. Pre-registration will be mandatory. And if they register, it's first come, first serve to be indoors at the library, or they can pre-register and I will send them the Zoom link and they can do it at home if they choose.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so Erica just ordered a couple of cameras, so we can use them through Zoom, and I think she's working on getting a Zoom account, our own Zoom account. Erica, where are you with that? Do you have that Zoom account now?
I have a Zoom account, so I can give you the information to that,
Okay.
a free one, which would be
Okay.
perfect use, as long as there's not another meeting going on, and I don't use it very often, mostly in
Yep.
the evenings. And so I'm working with IT to purchase 2 Zoom accounts for the town.
Is the free Zoom account, is it only a 40-minute session?
No, so far they've those limits aren't they're not real strict on them, and they haven't been. So for now, it will work.
Okay.
I've
we
had
got kicked
longer
off.
meetings.
We used
Tomorrow I
a
have a
free Zoom
4-hour
account.
meeting, so we'll see how it goes.
All right, so we had a commission meeting and we did use a free Zoom account because Mike had a couple of meetings going on that night. So we did a free, we did it through the free Zoom account, and we ended up getting kicked off at 40 minutes.
You did.
did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll be testing
So-
that out tomorrow, so it hasn't happened yet, so we will see.
Okay, good. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So we'll see how that works. I'm going to meet our yoga instructor at the library on Friday afternoon, and we're going to try testing it out. I'll try streaming it and videotaping her to make sure that whoever is at home will be able to hear her. You know, we don't have a lot of sound equipment or camera equipment, so we'll try it first to see how it works. So we'll see.
You did a good job with the concerts, so this should be easy.
Yeah, well, except that I did all the concerts from my phone, and there's, you can't zoom in on it. There's not a wide angle for it, and if the instructor is moving, you won't be able to see her.
Gotcha.
So we're going to play around with it for a little bit and see what we can do. But I'm hoping that this camera will work better than a phone, and it'll be a wider angle.
If you set it at the back of the room, you'll get a wider angle too.
Yep, that's what I'm going to try.
Although you might get a bunch of butts in the picture too that you don't want.
Yeah.
No, you don't want that, Mike.
And I have to make sure that they can hear the instructor if she's in the front and the camera's in the back with the computer. They have to still be able to hear her too.
Yeah.
So that's the part we're going to test out. So we'll see. We'll try it. We'll see. We'll see if we can do it. I'm hoping we can. So I sent out a flyer to try to hold some sand volleyball pickup games. We're going to try it for Monday nights in the month of October, and we'll see if we can get anybody down at the park to play volleyball. We'll see how many people we get. I've got one interested person so far. We'll see if we can get a group of people. So we'll see.
Use it before we pave it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that starts next Monday. We are going to resume our fitness classes, and we are moving those outdoors as well. We're going to meet down at River Road. Those start also next Monday. So we will try Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays to hold outdoor fitness classes down there. They'll be able to utilize the walking track as well as the outdoor fitness equipment that's down there. So we'll see what we get for registrations for that. Pickleball, so that we now have the pickleball lines on the court. So we're going to start pickleball this week, Wednesday and Friday mornings from 10 to 12. I will be down at the park. I'll set up the equipment. We'll see how many people we get to play outdoor pickleball.
The pickup kind of thing?
Yep. Yep, so that will run starting this Wednesday through Friday, November 6th. So the entire month of October, every Wednesday and Friday. Right now, we're in the middle of an outdoor self-defense course. So we're down at River Road on Wednesday nights from 5:30 to 6:30. It's a 6-week session. It's a mix of kids and adults. And it's 2 instructors that own the dojo here in Willington. Jeff and Kirsty Farrar are the 2 instructors. So this Wednesday will be our 3rd class out of 6.
How many kids you got?
So that's going well too. There's 7 of us total, seven people total.
Oh, that's great.
7 out of 10. I capped it at 10, like all the other programs. So 7 out of 10.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. And some people missed it. They didn't see the flyer for whatever reason. They were bummed out about it. So I'll try to run it again if Jeff and Kirsty want to offer another class, possibly in the springtime.
Okay.
The Willington Wire is finishing that up this week. It's for the months of October, November, and December, and that is scheduled to be sent out this week on Thursday, October 1st. Kayaks went out. They went out every weekend through the month of September. They just came back in again today. I don't have any more reservations for the month of October as of yet, but holy cow, it was a busy summer for them. They were out every single weekend.
Good.
That's great.
Yeah, it was really good. So they did take a little more abuse than usual. So I had to buy a couple more paddles. Those holes that we repaired, they held.
That's
So
good.
it was good. Yeah, it was good.
You don't want to lose
Maureen,
any.
who donated those originally?
Say that again?
Who originally donated those? What was the?
It was a grant. It was a grant.
Okay.
Eastern Highlands Health District. It was called a HEAL grant, the Healthy Living.
Are they still active? Do you know to get more maybe or no?
That particular grant is not.
Okay.
I keep looking because I would love to get more, and we had talked about in the past adding paddle boards into the mix, but it is not active. That's something too, we can talk about Lions Club money. I'm sure they would love to fund something like that, and that's perfect.
Would you use stand-up paddle boards down at Hall's Pond, or Diane won't let us do that? No,
we cannot do that. I had asked last year or the year before if we could bring kayaks down there. She had and paddle boards. She had said if we stay like right within our area, that she wouldn't have an issue with that, but she didn't want us using the entire pond. She's afraid that people will come in with their boats and start using the pond area as a boat launch, and she doesn't want that happening. And I see her point, and I can see people doing that. So there was another kind of boat that I had looked at and gotten quotes for our summer camp. And they're like these little mini boats that would be perfect for our campers. They're small. I think they were like 6 feet long, and it's perfect for kids to just jump in. They can learn how to paddle. But it's a nice, much smaller size than a full-size kayak. So we can look at that for the future. And those we would be able to use in the swim area during camp and things like that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. And they'd get a hang of it before they go into a full-size kayak too, which is what I liked about them. The memorial bench down at River Road, that bench has been installed and it's now complete. DPW did a great job. I think they finished that 2 weeks ago. So that looks great.
I'll
Just
be
as you,
back in 1 second.
just as you
Drink of
drive
water.
in.
You go ahead.
Okay.
It's just as you drive in, straight ahead, basically.
Yes. Yep. It's right on the, it is right when you drive in.
Nice.
It's kind of like on one of the corners, and it looks straight down the entire field. It looks really good.
That's great.
Yeah. So we still have another memorial bench for the town office building. That one was purchased and donated for Kevin Laguerre. And the family that's donating it wants to wait until they have a field dedication for Kevin. And it was supposed to happen in the spring and canceled due to COVID. So it's on hold until that field dedication happens. So, and DPW is going to be installing that one as well. Sunday, September 20th, we had our final summer concert, I guess. That was a free concert. One of our residents, Chad and Amanda Wild, had recommended that this gentleman play. It was a concert. He played all Beatles music. It was a beautiful afternoon, so it was a perfect day for a concert. So it went well. We had it was a small crowd, but it was a good crowd and great music. So I think we are finally done with concerts for the season. All went well. Okay,
Good.
so I'm going to go back to the lights. So we have our meeting on Thursday night. And the only thing I think that we need to be prepared for, and I think we need to make sure we have the answers, is how are they going to work? We've talked about it many times. We talked about having a coin drop. We talked about having them on timers. How are we going to do it? What is the time frame going to be? When are lights going to be allowed? I think we need to have those answers ready for Thursday night and for us to, figure out how we're going to do this.
My
What
feeling
hours
is we
do
should
you wanna
allow the
run?
lights to go as late as they want. There's no residences down near the field.
No.
Why couldn't we just let them go 24 hours? If people want to play at 3 in the morning, let them play at 3 in the morning. They can put some money in for the lights, $1, whatever, however you want to do that. I mean, that's just a thought.
I don't think it's going to be easy finding the dollars for lights thing, so we'll probably just time them out. And what time do you want people out of the park, Maureen?
Well, right now, the rule is the park closes at dusk, which obviously isn't going to be the case anymore. That's not going to be the rule. And, right now we have concerts in the park and we're there past dark.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And, that's something we need to decide. What is the time?
So I think pick a season and pick a quit time, maybe 10 o'clock.
So I'll tell you, so I think the times that I was really kind of looking at were the months of September, October, November, and March and April. Those are the specific months where it gets dark really early, where people still should be in that park. They should still be using that basketball court. So right now, at the end of September, the sun sets at 6:30. At the end of October, it's 5:45. At the end of November, it's 4:30. And then jumping forward, then forgetting about December, January, February, where there's probably going to be snow. It may be too cold, even though people will still use it. But at the end of March, when more people will start coming out again, the sun sets at 7:15, and then at the end of April at 7:45. So those are the key months that we really want people in the park, or that's when they should be out. It's warm enough.
Stafford's Olympic Field. We used to go down there and play. It's just a turn button. You turn the button, you put it on for what you max it out at an hour. It goes off in an hour.
Yeah, we could do that, but we probably don't want it to play after a certain time, right?
Yeah, but like Eddie said, there's no houses nearby where the sound's going to disturb anybody. Let them, if they want to play at 3 in the morning, they work second shift, third shift. Let them go. How many people are going to be down there at 3 in the morning?
I don't know.
I can't see us having an issue with people going down there having a beer pong competition on the court at 3 in the morning. I mean, if it comes to that, there's got to be a way to dial it so that it can't be turned on after midnight or something like that. But for the most part, just put it on a spinner. You spin it, you get your hour out of it, and if you want to go again, you hit it again when they go out.
All right, so a 60-minute
I think
timer.
midnight's reasonable. Yeah, I think midnight's a reasonable accommodation. I mean, if you don't want, first of all, we want people to use it.
Exactly.
I mean, in the summer it gets dark. It stays light out till 8:30, 9 o'clock. Some, in the middle. So I don't know. I just think at least till midnight. Let people stay to midnight. And if they're there, then maybe if we want to, we can have it only work till midnight, and then and that's that. But
How do we control that though, Joe?
We put an astronomical time clock and just tell it to run whatever part of the season, certain amount of hours after sunset. It adjusts to sunset every night, so it knows when
Even,
sunset is.
even when the power goes out, it doesn't have to be reset.
It's got like a CMOS battery in it, so it remembers. For a while, it won't remember after 2 weeks, but it'll remember for a week.
Yeah. I mean, that works.
I
Night,
wonder,
whatever.
we should probably ask someone at the town, maybe start with Erica and see what she thinks. I just don't know if the townspeople are going to want it after a certain time of night, or if there's some kind of curfew, or I don't know. I don't know if it's up to us, or if it's up to Erica, or if it's up to the selectmen.
Yeah, I was
it's up
okay
to
with
us.
midnight with them, keeping them on until midnight.
So we have to be able to tell them how it's going to work. Mike's idea of having a half hour or 1 hour timer is great. So we set up a time clock in front of that turns on at sunset, gives it the ability to turn on at sunset, and then tells it to shut off at midnight. So even if someone turns a dial at 12:01, nothing will happen.
Yeah, with a sign indicating that, so they don't say, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to put a sign out there that says park closes at a
Lights
certain time.
only functional from whatever.
Yeah, sunset to 11 o'clock or something.
Lights automatically turn off at midnight, something to that effect.
Yep. But that's how we'll do it. We'll
Well, you say
separate them.
automatically turn off. Am I correct though? The lights don't go on unless we turn them on, right?
Right.
Correct.
But
Right.
still, lights are non-functional or whatever. Lights will not operate after midnight.
Right.
Okay.
And we'll do it in 3 zones. The little kiddie play area, the sand volleyball court, and the hoop court.
Yeah.
So we'll have 3 different timers. We'll just mount them all on the board.
And then the flagpole, Joe, that one will be on its own.
That'll have to be on a photocell.
Okay.
On at sunset, off at sunrise.
Yes. Okay. Great. Okay, I'm good with that.
So let's call a time, because someone's.
Okay.
First of all, I don't think anyone's going to come to the meeting except us, which is awesome. But if somebody does ask, what time do you want to tell them we're going to shut it off?
Midnight,
I'm good with midnight.
Okay.
Yeah.
unless we get pushback.
I think someone's going to push back for sure.
Uh-huh.
One of the selectmen or somebody from the town, or they're going to say something like, I don't want kids from some other town down there at 2 a.m. playing basketball. I think that's the pushback you're going to get. Don't you think that's what you're going to
That's
get?
fine.
If somebody from another
So we
town,
may. I just think.
if you have a basketball court that goes around the clock and kids find out about it, you're going to have a lot of people down there all night long playing basketball. What the other
Isn't that
towns
the
do?
idea? That's the whole idea of the.
I think Stafford was 11. No, was it 10? I think it was 10. But we used to play till midnight. till the cops came.
Right, so that's what we don't want.
Well, and that's because there were houses right next door, and they got sick of the
Right.
bouncing ball
Mhm.
reverberating through the neighborhood. But you won't have that issue down there. So
What
you
other
might.
towns do, Maureen? Can you tap into? Do you know anybody else? Like Columbia has lights, I think, don't they, on some of their courts?
I don't know who has lights. Ashford does not. I don't think Mansfield does. I don't even think they really have a court. Coventry has something, but I don't think they have lights.
Telling you, when kids find out that you can play basketball all night long in Willington, that parking lot's going to be jammed.
So why don't we cap it at, well, so are you okay with capping it at midnight? And so that
Yeah,
they
let's
can't
say
turn it on
midnight.
past midnight?
Yeah, say midnight and see what the townspeople say.
Okay. Erica, do you want to chime in on that? And what are your thoughts on midnight?
Yeah, listen, you go into it with a plan. Midnight sounds like it's reasonable. To Joe's point, you may end up with a lot more people than you had anticipated, and reevaluate if there are problems.
Right, exactly.
Come up with a million what ifs, but you have cameras down there. You can kind of monitor what's going on. If there seems to be problems and issues, then you come back and you readjust. In my opinion, the idea is that you wanted to be able to utilize the park more, especially in these times when you don't have an indoor facility. I think this takes care of it. And if you're open to reevaluating if there are issues or concerns, then I think you take that stance and go forward that way. You got to give it a shot to see before there's a problem.
Right. And right now there's people down in the park, they're using their headlights. So this is an extra safety measure that we're putting the lights down there. I don't know how long they stay down there and play. But I know that they're there pretty late using headlights so that they can see on the court.
Joe, do you think those lights will be bright enough to use the walking track?
You're going to get shadows on the backside. It may seem darker than it really is because it's so bright on the opposite side, but I think people could walk at night with those lights.
I'm just wondering if that'd be an added bonus people could walk to.
Don't forget they're all cutoffs like the parking lot lights, so you get a pretty stark edge.
Straight down. Oh, we'll see.
Yeah. I was hoping that too, Mike. And for in the future, there is another electric box on the opposite side of that track, I believe, down near the dugouts.
Mm-hmm.
There's an electric box down there. So in the future, it would be great if we could put lights that went all the way around the track. We would only need one over, I think in each corner.
Yeah, you don't need a stark amount of light. You're not reading, you're just walking.
Right.
Just trying to keep
how much of the beginning of the soccer field?
Say that again, Bill.
How much will it shine into at least half of the soccer field?
He's always trying to get lights on that soccer field.
Well, it's a moneymaker, though. I'm telling you, clubs look to go as late as possible. Oh, hits, and then when Mel say they're looking again, I'm serious.
So, Bill, I don't think that it's going to reach that far. Do you think so, Joe?
No,
not the whole field. I'm like half the field.
No, I think if you want to do that, you'd have to set it up for stadium lighting for over there, which would be great, but that's not going to happen with these lights.
Can those lights canter? Can you canter the bulbs in, or if you will, are they fixed? Are they just a drop? They're fixed?
Yeah.
They can't be angled, right?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's all kinds of photometrics associated with it for just our area that we're lighting.
Yeah.
So if you want to light the soccer field, which is an awesome idea, we could, but that's a fundraiser from some soccer people. Maybe get a soccer group to fundraise and put your own lights up, and then you guys have the field.
And we talked about that, and my suggestion was that we don't put lights up on the soccer field. We look at putting turf in. That field can't handle any more soccer than what's on it right now. So we were really hopeful that we were going to be able to overseed and water, and nobody was using the fields this year, including Hall School. And we're all set to overseed, and we have no rain.
Yeah.
So we can't even overseed this season, and it would have been the perfect time to do that at Hall School. The soccer club that's using the field down at River Road sent me an email last week saying, they're basically playing on dirt and crabgrass, and asked me what our plan was, and I said we need rain. We can't even go down there and water the grass.
Yeah, when you water it, it makes no difference.
It was, but right now the state, we're in a drought condition. We're not supposed to be watering. So that field right now needs to be aerated. It needs to be seeded. It needs to be fertilized, and we can't do any of it.
Is that
unless
an
we're
MPC
going to get
thing,
the
though?
rain.
That's city water. That's not you. You're pumping your own water. I think you can do whatever you want.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that's an MDC thing. City
No,
water.
that was through the state, and it was by county that we are in a drought, and they are recommending that we do not use irrigation systems.
Even if it's your own well?
I think so. I'll look
Wow.
it up again just to be sure, but yeah.
It's pretty Gestapo.
Well, the season,
You
we're heading into October, so
you drain that well down there, my well's going to go dry.
Yeah. I heard there's so much water there, it's ridiculous. Like that thing almost bubbles over before you start pumping it.
Yeah, somebody told me like 80 gallons a minute or something.
Yeah, it's out of control.
Yeah. So, but anyway, and we talked about that. We met down at River Road, I think 2 years ago to look at the soccer field and to talk about, do we put lights on that field or do we work on putting turf there, because that field doesn't get any rest at all. And if we opened up that field and put lights on there, it would get so much use, but we wouldn't have a field.
But if you had turf and lights, you'd never get the kids off that field.
Yes.
Problem is, turf is going to cost you $500,000.
For what?
No, 1 million. 1 million, sir.
Yes,
$1 million, even better.
It is 1 million.
It's $1 million, and then
Eric, is there room in the budget
every 5 to 10 years, you have to do it.
Yes.
Erica,
can we think you could squeeze in the budget for us?
We've got an extra million laying around. No problem.
Cool.
Put it on the list.
Increase taxes.
How about those fields?
That field stays busy enough. I certainly wish it was something that was, feasible right now, and maybe at some point the town will see whether or not it is. It could be used all the time. Maureen knows that. And it would be in better shape. So.
Yeah.
If you put turf in there, you'd look for people to come from all over the area to play on it for money, right?
Yes.
So you'd make money. I don't know how much, but you'd make money.
I spoke to Carl Asimovic last week or the other week, and the property that's adjacent to River Road is, as you know, it's under development at some point. The plans are to put some soccer fields down there, but just so you know, that's several years off. It's not going to happen next year. It's going to take them time. They have a lot to do. And so I'm talking to the engineer who's involved. So it's not going to happen next year, and it may not even the following year. It's going to take them this is what the impression I got. We're several years off from seeing that in operation. So.
Okay. Bill, do you know where what fields they've been using, or did they take the spring off? because of COVID.
Yeah, well, because of COVID, yeah, they've taken a lot of time off, even from Star Hill and from Lions
Okay.
Field. Yeah, it's been scarce. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And right now we're in high school season anyway, so everything's pretty much they're not really that active right now.
Right. Well, typically
Rich is active.
Yes, he is. But typically,
Yes,
NEU would rent the field the entire spring and the entire fall. And yeah, I know COVID slowed them down, I'm sure.
But they're utilizing just what they have just at Lions Field right now.
Okay.
Are we not at full capacity? Are we not rented out completely, or?
Oh no, we're full now. We have Connecticut Celtic that is renting it out almost every night of the week. So
that's why he's
so
so adamant about us fixing the field for him. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and you know, it is. There's a lot of dirt. It hasn't rained all summer. There's not much we can do about it. And I mean, I could go down there and spend 6 hours a day trying to water that field, and I just can't do that.
No, you're watering sand at this point anyhow.
Yeah. So I tried towards the beginning, and it helped a little bit, but
yeah, and he needs a good layer of dirt. You know, Maureen, he needs another good layer of dirt too. You know, a lot of it's washed out over the years.
Right.
So even if you put seed in there and water, there's going to be a lot of bare spots because it needs soil. You know.
Right.
In areas, certain areas.
So I think that's something that we need to look at soon. That's another project I think we need to look at, is taking care of that field and adding dirt and doing what we need to do to keep it up.
We have one, you know, we either do it in a project like you shut half of it down,
right,
and let it rest for a year, and then do the other half, or you shut the whole thing down for a year. That's the only way to really do it.
Right.
You know.
Right. And I think we need to. I think it's time. I don't think it's ever been done in 10 years.
I don't think. You're right. It has not. No.
So it definitely needs a little TLC. And we're renting it out. It's getting a lot of use, but you know, there's a lot of divots in the ground, and it's pretty uneven at this point.
I wonder how that compares size-wise to the lower field at Hall School. You know, way over on the edge, down low. I wonder if you could utilize that for a year while this one rests. But I mean, that's a school property versus parking's parking's an issue. Right.
And that field has some issues going on down there too. They, I don't know if they have fixed it or not, but there's a drainage issue, and it floods every single year. And this year it's been really bad. I think some of the drainage pipes may have broken because it was like a lake down there.
No, well, that's not good.
No.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Could a soccer group come up with $250,000? Do you guys have that kind of cash?
Well, no, their money is focused towards that field next to ours. You know what I'm saying?
If you can get 4 of those soccer people.
No, I know, but they've already invested next to us to the right there, that field. You know what I'm saying? They're not, and that's NEU. And then Rich is just scrambling for any space he can get. I mean, Rich could be a partner, if you will, if someone, you know, I mean, he's definitely making money, so I'm sure he would be interested in investing maybe a little bit towards it.
But not $250,000.
No, that he's too small for that, to be honest with you. And NEU already invested that kind of money into the field next to ours, so they're not gonna take advantage of that. And that's the only really two big ones in our area. There's no other big soccer clubs in the area.
Okay.
Well, you know, we can look for grants and see what's out there.
Yeah.
But I think that would be the next move before we put lights on that field, I think, is turning it to turf.
I agree.
It's a big nut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much abuse can a field like that take? I mean, could it be constant, Bill? Could you have kids on that all day long if it was turf?
Not during the school day. It would be mostly evenings.
No, I mean, would it take that kind of abuse?
I mean, nothing more than a high school field, because high school fields are multi-purpose fields. But you could have, I mean, who knows? Maybe you'll have lacrosse coming in. You'll have other sports coming in too.
And it could handle it. The field could handle
You'll
that.
have,
Right?
you'll have. We've had flag football. You'd have a ton of different sports coming into it to rent. I'm just thinking from the past, right, Maureen? You've had flag football, of course, soccer. Look, you have lacrosse.
I've tried. I'd love to see field hockey as a feeder program to E.O. Smith.
Yeah, that's true. Field hockey. I forgot about field hockey. Yeah, it's when you have a turf field, it's just totally multi-purpose. It's awesome.
I've noticed usually those turf fields before events, they're always out there watering them down. Is that going to be necessary?
Watering turf fields down?
They're usually wetted for some reason, maybe so the stuff doesn't kick up to pellets.
I'm honestly, I've never seen anybody water the fields.
I know UConn does it before their field hockey games, and I've seen it at E.O. Smith. I saw them water the field down before they had a field hockey game.
Okay.
They just wet it, just dampen it so that the beats don't get kicked around so much.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's necessary or if it's just like a, recommended procedure.
Like a preventive.
I mean, I know you need a machine to spread those little pellets. It's almost like a raker, a very soft raker that, you spread down those pellets and it kind of you have to rake it in every once in a while because those pellets eventually dissipate. So there is maintenance involved with a field. And if you want to use it even during light snow, there's a special plow, if you will, that sits above the turf and it leaves like a 1 inch of snow on it, and everything else melts after that. So, that just extends your season.
So I don't know. That I would love to look into something like that. Maybe there's a grant out there or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Or saving your green stamps.
Yeah. So, okay. So I guess that's it for me. I really wanted to make sure that we had an answer just in case they asked us about the timer for lights and what time we were planning on shutting the lights off. So I think we're good.
Okay, good.
How big do you think that field is? 80,000 square feet? How big is that, Bill?
So a football field is 100 by what? 100 by
50 wide?
Yeah, 50, more than that. No, it's wider than 50. So probably about 100 by 80, and you want to extend that, of course, to about 120 by 120 by 100, 120 by 100, I would say, because you need a little bit of that space around the field, and you have to put fencing in too, guys. So you don't want to just leave it open to the public to go in there, and mess it up, or have some stupid little drive go in there. You have to protect the field.
Hopefully, if you have a turf field there, you'll be using it so much that you won't have time for somebody to mess around on it.
Yeah.
So this says if you put a field in at 80,000 square feet, it's about $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth asking somebody, Maureen, to give you a ballpark?
Oh, yeah.
Why not, right?
I can do that.
The key is right now, it's one large area, and periodically it gets divided up into multiple fields. If you just put in one field, and you fence it, are we going to limit the number of teams that can play on it simultaneously? I've seen as many as 3 or 4 soccer games, looks like, simultaneously going on down there. If you just put in one standard size I'm going to say fake fields, are we limiting ourselves? Or should we?
No, that's true. You have to look at, you have to look at, you have to look at it as a
Whatever's grass
multi-purpose
now,
field.
whatever's grass now, make it turf.
Mhm.
You know, should we make it bigger than the standard 100
Yeah.
by 80?
The bigger it is, the more they come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a thought. I mean,
Yeah, no,
obviously
you're right.
it's more money, but
Yep.
Worth asking somebody, Maureen. They could even give you a ballpark for Connecticut for a field like that. It's got to be a square foot
Yeah.
number.
yeah, they might say square
Maybe
foot.
Maybe we'll put a bubble over it like Star Hill.
I would love to do that.
Bill, you keep talking about all these beautiful things, but nothing ever happens.
He must be doing good at the stock market.
I would love to. I
Yeah.
would love to see something like that down at the park. Whether, part of when that whole plan was first put together, part of it was to put a rec center down there, not a full-fledged Mansfield Community Center rec center, but a rec center with bathrooms, offices, and some sort of a fitness room down there. I would love to see that.
That's a grant.
And that's what we've been looking for, right? Is our own dedicated facility so that we can run our own program.
Yeah, that's the spot to do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most popular spot in town for rec.
Right. And it makes sense.
So how do we find out if there's grants available for stuff like that?
So I've mentioned Mike D'Amato is on this call. I've mentioned to him too. Keep your eyes open for rec if you see any good grants out there. But nothing yet. Mike's kind of busy too. So
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Maybe with this COVID stuff, a bunch of grants will open up because nobody can go outside or inside.
Inside, yeah.
Right.
We need a grant writer. What happened to our grant writer?
Yeah, Erica, what happened to our grant writer?
He quit. Didn't he just quit?
Yeah.
Did he walk away with a wheelbarrow full of money?
So anyway,
I don't even know what you
there's
guys are
so many
talking
things
about.
I'd love to do down at that park. So
The library guy, Eddie. So here's something called Grant Watch. What's that? 605 sports and recreation grants available for boys and girls. You ever see that?
yep. Is that
Oh,
one do you have to pay for it, like a subscription for it?
I don't know. Grant Watch.
It's got to be a gimmick. You got to pay for it, and then they'll send you notifications when grants come available. All you have to do is apply.
It's only $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know some of them out there. You had to there was a fee to sign up for them, and then they would send you notifications when they became available.
About NRPA. What's NRPA?
That's the National Recs and Park Association. They're great.
Because it says here there's grant opportunities. Oh, there are no grant opportunities at this time.
Right. Yes, I am active with NRPA and CRPA, our state association and the national level. So anyway, that's it. I don't have anything else.
Is that it? I move for an adjournment.
No new business or old business?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
do we have old business to discuss? Go
I
ahead.
think that
All
was
right.
it.
I'll second that adjournment if we don't have any new or old business.
Sure.
Okay.
And we're going to get as many friends, spouses, and relatives out to that meeting on Thursday night at 7 o'clock?
Hopefully,
I'll be
I'll
there.
be down there.
All right.
Okay.
All right, kids. Nice seeing you.
All right, everybody.